She has provided us with so much insight about certain systems in our body that nobody ever talks about. Even your doctor, your primary, doesn't talk about it, partly because they really don't know a lot about it. They're not fully trained in it. Talking about the lymphatic system in our bodies and certain massage techniques that can support that. We are going to dig back into that today. She is Hilton Head Island. Do I have that right? That's where you're located, right?
Yeah, Bluffton, just minutes from Hilton Head Island. Yeah.
Bluffton, South Carolina. Now I got it.
Mhm.
Catherine McCracken is back with us. You are a certified massage therapist, correct?
I'm a licensed massage therapist. Different states have different terminology for it. In South Carolina, we say licensed, but I'm also a certified lymphedema therapist, certified by the Lymphology Association of North America, LANA. And I've been studying myofascial therapy since 2013.
Wow.
Mhm.
Myofascial therapy is what supports the lymphatic system in our bodies, correct?
Myofascial therapy and the lymphatic system, the lymphatic drainage is what actually makes it move, creates here's a Scrabble word for you, lymph angiorhythmicity. I
Yeah,
know.
you hit every consonant and every syllable in that one word.
For real, for real. But it's the myofascial that keeps the tissues hydrated because the two tissues and systems are so intertwined. They have a completely symbiotic relationship. We talked about dehydration last time.
Mm.
And when those knots, and I just use the word knot because it's a convenient term. There's a whole lot of semantic arguments about, no, it's an adhesion. No, it's a restriction, whatever, it's a knot. And when it gets restricted like that, it gets dehydrated, it gets sticky. The lymphatic system can't work as effectively. So they all have to work together.
Mm. So now I'm seeing this, and I've heard these terms for years, but never really put them together where fascia in our bodies
Mhm.
is connected to the lymphatic system. I thought they were, everything's connected in some way within our bodies, but I never thought that their relationship was as close as it is.
Yeah. Well, what happens is very, very recently, for over 100 years, we thought that the lymphatic system absorbed 10 to 20% of the fluid that was released through the capillaries in the cardiovascular system. And so the fluids and nutrients diffuse out of the capillaries into the superficial fascia, where the lymphatic capillaries are then waiting to pick it up and absorb it. We now know as of about 2010, like I said, all this stuff is really brand new. Within the
Mm.
last 20 years, have we been talking about the fascial system and the lymphatic system to any great length. And so what happens now, we know unless there's areas of extreme trauma, that 100% of the fluids that come out of the cardiovascular system into the interstitium are then picked up by the lymphatic capillaries. So what
Isn't it
happens?
amazing? Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, no, please.
I was at a cardiologist yesterday, just routine checkup, and he even admitted some things that they've only just figured out right
Yeah,
around the same time, 2010 that you said.
yeah.
And it sounded like somewhat related. We were just talking about technology and things. We're just kind of, shooting a breeze. And it blows my mind that even with the technology that we have, all of this, a lot of it is only just coming to light. And if you say, 2010, yeah, not a long time ago,
Hmm.
really.
Yeah.
Mm.
So the lymph capillaries, the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like our vascular system has a heart, it has the pump. And so what happens is when the fluid comes out of the capillaries, it fills the interstitium. And then the lymph capillaries have anchoring filaments, which are tiny little threads of collagen that are attached to the fascia. So when the fluid fills the area, it opens these little swing flaps, and then the lymph load, as we call it, which is the fluid, the waste products, the nutrients, vitamins, minerals, everything, it then gets sucked into the lymphatic system. And that is where it goes and gets cleaned out by the lymph nodes and all of that.
The all the vessels in our body and the veins and the arteries and all of that is it has a pump, the heart that sends it
Hmm.
through. The system you're referring to, there is no pump.
The main pump is actually our skeletal muscles.
Or what?
Our skeletal muscles, movement.
So interesting. And I wanted to mention this today. What about older folks? They don't move like they did. So I got
Mm-hmm.
to believe that that lymphatic fluid isn't moving like it did. And probably if there's anybody that needs this type of modality and massage, it would be older folks.
100%. Yeah, yeah. One of the important things that the lymphatic system does is we do not want dietary fats or fat-soluble vitamins to go directly into our vascular system. If you could imagine that, I mean, our lifespan wouldn't be nothing if the dietary fats went directly into our cardiovascular system. It'd clog up
Oh,
everything and we'd be having strokes and heart attacks all over the place. There's the lymphatic system. It picks up the dietary fats and it picks up the fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. And then those are transported around. And as you said, the elderly, well, almost a universal disease is osteoporosis.
mm.
Vitamin D is vital for absorption of calcium. Vitamin K gets the calcium into the bones. If your lymphatic system isn't working properly, there you go. You get osteoporosis because those vitamins are not able to do their job to keep the bones strong.
I never looked at it that way. Of
Hmm.
and the prevention of the fats going into our bloodstream.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Like
Yeah.
this just elevated in my mind the importance of the lymphatic system and the role that it plays in our body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
On so many more levels than we ever thought. And still, on average, in a 4-year medical school, they might talk about the lymphatic system for 45 minutes.
That's crazy.
It is
It
crazy.
really is.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I got really interested in that. I did find a study where if you think about it, here's the cycle of osteoporosis. You know, you see people they lose height. They get kind of scrunched over. They get that kyphosis, that C curve in their spine, and their neck is coming down. Well, they did a study where they harvested 161 lymph nodes from the cervical channel here from 8 cadavers. And this is shocking because of the 161 nodes, 38 of them had less than 50% lymphoid tissues. The remaining 123 had basically completely died. There was no lymphoid tissues in them at all. And this speaks to the incredible dynamic properties of our human body because our lymph nodes have multiple afferent vessels, so lots of vessels that go to them when they're healthy. But these 123 lymph nodes that had basically died off only had one. So it's like the body said, you know, thank you for your service. We're going to reroute elsewhere to the lymphatic system.
Wow. And when you say they had died, that was prior to, I mean, we're talking cadavers, but
Oh yeah, no, they had died like long before the person died. Yeah.
so
We
this,
have roughly 600 to 700 lymph nodes in our body. Thank God we've got, you know, a couple spares, maybe, for the body to be able to reroute and transport the fluids to different lymph nodes. Here's another Scrabble word for you, anastomosis. That's where it can connect to something different. And that's what we do in manual lymphatic drainage, specifically for someone who has had lymph nodes removed for cancer staging and treatments is we create an anastomosis. So say if they had right breast cancer, we will then create an anastomosis to go over to the left lymph nodes to help the drainage so that the swelling is maintained
how
in
do you
the area.
do that? How do we physically reroute?
It's a very integral technique that we it's just very slowly start by the area that we want to take it to and then work our way across and then work our way up. So it's like if you've got a kink in the hose, you don't go to the end of the hose where the water comes out and go, how come it's not working? You start there and work your way back up to the faucet to make sure that it's all clear all the way through so that it can then get to the new direction you want it to go to.
So here's a question I always wanted to ask related to this. And thank you, Catherine, for the very descriptive explanation of this. When you're doing it, let's say you're doing a rerouting,
Mhm.
how do you know you're doing it? You can't see it. Are you really feeling that, you've,
Oh, it's shocking. It's shocking the difference in the tissues. I can't,
wow,
it blows my mind every time I feel it because the fibrosis, and that's where the myofascial treatments and training comes in because that fibrosis, it's so interesting. I got back up a second here, sorry, but the myofascial community and lymphedema community are very much speaking the same language with just slightly different dialects. So the lymphatics community is saying lymphedema causes the fibrosis, but the myofascial community is saying the fibrosis causes lymphedema. It's like, come on, guys, let's get together and realize that ultimately it's the same thing. And so once I feel that fibrosis, then the fluids and the client, they will repeatedly say, I can actually feel the fluids moving.
wow.
Hmm.
Okay. I've always wondered about lymphatic massage and, how you even know because you can't see it. And in my experience, had it done twice. It's such a light touch,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that moves it.
It does. It does. And we go in again very specific. So we go kind of across the vessels and then pump, and then across the vessels and pump. So I had my aha moment. When I was a kid, I went and stayed at my aunt's farm and I was milking the goats. And I was like, oh, instead of just squeezing the udders like that, you squeeze it off and then down, squeeze it off and then down. So I was like, oh, okay. So that's how it works. You're kind of like squeezing it off and then moving it.
Imagine what that feels like, within somebody's body, whether it be, on their neck or chest or whatever it might be. You must
Mhm.
have developed such sensitive fingertips to feel that.
I think that was actually an odd gift of being born with a rare eye disorder because I could not see when I was
Hmm.
a child. So I
Okay.
saw a lot of the world around me through my hands.
It's
Mhm.
almost as if this was made for you.
It really was. It really was. And that's why, I have my friend here who is, the animal totem of the massage therapist, the octopus.
Wow. So what
Yeah.
else should we know? What else should we know about either the lymphatic system or myofascial release?
Well, let's talk about osteoporosis a little bit more because it
Please.
is very much intertwined. And so, again, what happens with osteoporosis? We lose height, particularly in our spine, and the vertebrae themselves get scrunched down. And in a healthy adult human vertebra, you can see that it has, I've got a diagram here if I can not spill my water, if you can see it.
Yep.
There, you can see that it has kind of an S-curve shape going front to back.
Hmm.
And what's super interesting is when we're born, our spine is in a C shape. And it's with tummy time that we hold our head up. And remember, I said our bodies are like marionettes. It's the soft tissues that structure the osseous tissues, the bones, the strings that move the sticks. And so through that time, as the baby holds their head up, they strengthen the muscles and create that anterior curve. And then as they sit, the spine starts to straighten more. And as they stand, then you get the anterior curve in the lower spine. But as we age, and of course now with technology, we're constantly going forward. With every half inch that your cheekbone is in front of your collarbone, gravity adds 10 pounds of weight to your head. So when you're walking around with your cell phone, you have a 60-pound head because of gravity's pull on your head. So that is very much weakening the muscles there. And again, remember I said that the lymph nodes from the cervical, They had basically died off. Almost all of them were less than 50% functional. And so if you're down here like this, think about what's happening. The lymph can't drain from your head. It can't get around. It can't get the minerals to your bones. And then you start losing more and more and more height. As the lymphatic system fails, less able to move, and now you've got that downward spiral of osteoporosis. By using the myofascial therapy and getting those knots, rehydrated and getting the lymphatic system to work again, I have been able to reverse some clients' T scores, which is the bone density score. So not totally reverse osteoporosis, but maybe by two, three tenths of a point, which is really significant because otherwise it was just progressing into very damaging situations for them.
And the rest of us might not even consider how this fluid from the lymphatic system gets into or even affects the bones.
Mhm.
We look at it as, oh, that's the skeletal system, that's the cardiac system, that's this system. They're very much intertwined.
Yeah, yeah. Even your bones are about 20% water.
I never knew that. Wow. Oh, we're learning a lot here today. Um, Osteoporosis, what can we do? Let's say you get a little bit older, you want to prevent the onset of that. Is it ever too late? What should we be doing? What could we be doing?
In my experience, it's never too late. But what you need to do is you really need to watch your posture. Poor posture is a leading cause of dehydration, which is the leading cause of premature aging.
Really?
Yeah.
Had no idea.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, okay, so poor posture, the leading cause of dehydration. Why would that be?
Because what happens is your fascia senses your proprioceptors, those little cells that are in there given the feedback for your place in space, where your body is, what position it is in. Uh, they are sending out information to your brain, and then your brain is saying, let's respond to correct that. So, whenever a joint is sliding out of alignment, the brain says, lock it down to the fascia. The fascia then holds on. Now, that's great to prevent the joint from sliding further out of alignment. Unfortunately, then it makes it hard for us as individuals to put it back into alignment. And so that's where, again, the myofascial therapy comes in. Soften the fascia, create the neuromodulation to get the nerves to go, it's okay. You don't have to keep saying fire, fire, fire. And then they let go, and the joint then can realign and stabilize.
So, Catherine, are you saying that if we're at the very least here, we're mindful of our posture, sit up straight, and I have the worst posture ever. I know it. Like I see it in the mirror, and even a friend of mine, she's a trainer. She'll look at me and she just said, "Soldier proud," meaning stand up straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, by just doing that, are we much improving our hydration? Certainly, our spine and curvature and all of that, but even hydration. Big difference?
Well, hydration and the fact that then that area doesn't have to lock down to support the joint malalignments.
Wow. This is an eye
Hmm.
opener today. I gotta tell you, like all of this stuff, never heard it anywhere. I've studied a little bit on the lymphatic system, myofascial release, all of that. Skimming the surface, but I would have thought this would have come up in looking into that. Never even heard of it.
I
Crazy.
know. Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Couple of minutes left. What else do you want us to know?
Well, very, very simple postural alignment. Everybody always says shoulders back, shoulders back. But watch, watch what happened to my neck when I did shoulders back. The
Right.
exact thing you don't want to
Which
happen.
is very classic. That
Yes,
head forward.
100%. So it's not shoulders back, it's shoulders down, head back. And the easiest way to do that, it's shocking, but if you've ever been in the doctor's office and you've seen the anatomical posters of the muscle guy, he's always got his arms down by his side with his palms facing forward.
Yes.
That's what we call anatomical position. And that's when our muscles are in their most neutral position. So if you just, as you're sitting there, just shake out your arms, put your arms down by your side, turn your palms forward, and feel how your shoulders just automatically drop. Yeah, your neck just got longer.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
That
So
is so
very
weird.
simple things like that.
So
And then,
simple.
yeah, so simple. And then to get the nervous system to get on board, to hold that new posture, turn your palms forward, lean your head back, take several deep diaphragmatic breaths, really make your ribs move. And as you exhale, hum,
Mm.
because the humming creates an interference with the nervous system. It's almost like it's going fire, fire, fire. And when you hum, it's like squirrel. So, yeah, it distracts it just enough to get it to stop firing as much, to get it
Why
to
would we
release.
want to do that?
To get the nervous system, because that's the granddaddy of them all. We're not doing anything in our body without our nervous system. It's telling everybody what to do.
So we need to fool it.
Exactly. Exactly. Because you could be lying on a beach drinking a Mai Tai and still be stressed beyond belief if you're breathing really shallow. Or you can have a saber-toothed tiger behind you and be totally relaxed if you're just breathing normally and like slow, deep breaths. Breathing is the key. And I'll tell you what, our vagus nerve, which is our main autonomic nervous system nerve, and our thoracic duct, which is the main duct of the lymphatic system, go right through the diaphragm. So every time you really stretch and contract that diaphragm, it stimulates both. So just deep diaphragmatic breathing can help move your lymphatic system and relax your autonomic nervous system.
Amazing. Um,
Yeah.
Learned so much today. Wow. My head is still processing all of this. It's like really cool. Um, well, how do we connect with you? Somebody's got a question. Obviously, for massage therapy, you need to be in South Carolina, but what's the best way to connect?
My website is innovaetas.com, Innovaetas.com, and you can contact me through there.
Catherine, thank you for all the insight, the information, eye opener, even these simple things of even the breathing technique, standing straight, and how the connection to our skeletal system from the lymphatic system so important.
Yeah.
So much going on here.
Yep.
Uh, Thank you. I learned a lot. I'm gonna be the smartest man in the room next time I'm hanging with some people.
Oh, right
Seriously.
on. Get you set up for trivia night.
If I could only say those big words, which I can't. All right, we'll catch up next time.
All right. Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Thank you.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and prof- This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.